who had just lost his wife and daughter in a car crash and had 2 young sons. And now we see, all these years later, the president-elect, the soon-to-be First Lady, Vice President-elect Kamala Harris, who will make history in more ways than one today, and the second gentleman, Doug Emhoff, as they now enter the building where they walk in as President and Vice President-elect, but will walk out as the new President and Vice President of the United States.
Joe Biden spent a lot of time in that building as a member of Congress and of course, as Vice President as well. Andrew Mitchell, I want to get your thoughts, again, juxtaposing what you're looking at now as opposed to what we looked at 2 weeks ago today.
Well, that is the stark contrast. I don't ever recall this happening because usually they come in through the Capitol and come out at the top of the steps there right on the podium. But walking up those steps where the Capitol was breached, that's where the first access to the Capitol took place on January 6th. I think that was a symbolic greeting by Senators Klobuchar and Blunt, who were the 2 chairs, the leaders, bipartisan, of the Rules Committee, which is traditionally done. And now they're coming into the Capitol together up the steps, both the Bidens and the Harrises. They did not, of course, have the greeting at the White House that would have normally taken place between the president-elect, his spouse, and, of course, the outgoing president.
Andrea,
so that's why this is so different.
I just was told in my ear by our producer that Eugene Goodman, the Capitol Police officer escorting Vice President-elect Harris, is some will recognize from heroic actions that day as the insurrectionists and rioters broke into the Capitol. He was the officer who, in a moment of great poise, led them in a different direction away from an open door to the Senate chamber. And in that moment, many have said perhaps saved untold lives. And who knows what could have happened but for his heroism. And he, of course, is getting...
That was great. The sun is shining. And Mr. President-elect, this is the first inauguration in the history of America where J-Lo was the warm-up act for Chief Justice Roberts. With that, it is now my distinct honor to introduce the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States, John Roberts, to administer the presidential oath to the next President of the United States, Joseph R. Biden.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the oath of office, followed by musical honors.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Joseph Robinette Biden, Jr., do solemnly swear.
I, Joseph Robinette Biden, Jr., do solemnly swear.
That I will faithfully execute.
That I will faithfully execute.
The office of President of the United States.
Office of President of the United States.
And will, to the best of my ability.
Will, to the best of my ability.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
My fellow Americans, a moment we have all been waiting for. It is now my great privilege and high honor to be the first person to officially introduce the 46th President of the United States, Joseph R. Biden, Jr.
Chief Justice Roberts, Vice President Harris, Speaker Pelosi, Leader Schumer, Leader McConnell, Vice President Pence, and
What you are all about to be part of, America, is a historic moment of firsts. To administer the oath to our first African American, our first Asian American, and our first woman vice president, Kamala Harris, it is my great privilege to welcome to the inaugural stage the first Latina to ever serve on the Supreme Court of the United States of America, Justice Sonia Sotomayor.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the oath of office, followed by musical honors.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Kamala Davy Harris, do solemnly swear
I, Kamala Davy Harris, do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely,
that I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
that I will well and faithfully discharge
that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office on which I am about to enter.
the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.